keep trying to get Banjo to go for a swim. If you're not familiar with my dog Banjo, everybody, he has to get physical therapy twice a week because he needed hip replacement surgery right before we got him. So we helped him all through rehab, and he still needs that rehab because he's got a bad hip. And he does the underwater treadmill thing twice a week. So we know he likes water. A friend had a party not that long ago, and they had one of those shallow kiddie pools, and Banjo was in it by himself. He loves water. He's really afraid of the pool though. So I'm trying to convince him that pool is maybe okay with treats. He keeps barking at me because he's like, I can't swim. You can. You're a dog. Anyway, I'm making a video today because, like I said, I'm chilling in this beautiful pool. I try to make sure that all of the videos that go on this channel are not like my main channel where I'm sitting behind a computer desk. At least I'm doing something. So if you didn't know, I maybe 2 years ago posted on Twitter during Pride Month where I basically came out. Feels weird to even use that term, and I'll elaborate on it today, but it feels weird because essentially I'm not straight, and that's not something that I had ever hidden in any capacity. I feel like I always made it pretty obvious. I'm very, very lucky, and then I felt no pressure, and I had no identity struggles, and it's something I've known my entire life, and my family doesn't care. So the only reason that I made the coming out post was when friends who are part of the LGBT community basically were like, you could probably help some people if you said something. And I know that I have now after I posted that. But it was also just that one post just kind of, disappeared after it happened. So I thought I would make this video. It's a weird one because, like I said, it's not an identity thing that I struggle with, but a lot of people do. And so if me sharing helps somebody, then I love that. That's great. So as for what my identity is, I don't care about labels. I don't care what you want to call it. I think the term that fits me best based on the literal description is pansexual. I've had many a bigot be like, you're just bi. Okay, if you want to call me bi, I don't give a shit. Whatever you want. But for me, it's basically, I don't really care about somebody's gender or genitals in any way whatsoever. I don't care what you have, and I don't care what you identify as. There is no particular gender orientation identity that I dislike. All fine when it comes to the spectrum of sexuality. And I feel like pansexual encompasses that really well based on the literal definition. But again, I'm not picky. If I were to actually give it a definition, it would be just kind of like everything. And so, yeah, it's not something that I talk about super often because it's just sort of the way I've always been. I've never attended a pride, and I don't necessarily feel proud of it. That's not to say you shouldn't, obviously. It's just the way that I am. And I'm fine with it. The thing about me that I think is probably more unique, because I'm sure if a lot of people think about it, they probably do identify as pan. It's you just like certain people, right? That's it. The other facet of sexuality that I have that also has a term that I didn't know, again, it's just the way I've always been, that I'm much more specific about, is a term called demisexual. So I would be both pansexual and demisexual. Pansexual covers the things I'm attracted to, but demi is more hyper-specific. And this one requires me to reveal some personal details, but it's fine. Personal details I'm fine with. Demisexual means that you basically are not sexually attracted to people unless you know them as a person. So, for example, I have never had a one-night stand and find the idea repulsive. You could present me with the most attractive person on earth, but the idea of them touching me or anything, me touching them, anything, if I do not know them as a person and I'm not attracted to their personality, repulsive. Do not want it. Again, I can definitely be attracted to people. I think Michael B. Jordan is very attractive. Salma Hayek, my number one female celebrity crush is Kate Beckinsale. I just think she's so hot and so cool. You could present me with any of those people who I know more than I know a stranger, but unless I was attracted to them as a person, which means that it would require me to get to know them as a person, I don't want to touch them. I'm also in the same vein, not a hugger. I will hug people if they come to hug me or whatever, or if it feels like I socially have to. But I'm not a very touchy person unless I am in a monogamous relationship, in which case I'm very touchy. But basically this means it's not out of principle. I don't give a shit what anybody else does, what anyone else is attracted to. But I am just not at all interested in any kind of sexual contact outside of a monogamous relationship. Again, that's not a moral standard. It's just something I can't do. I just actively repulsed personally by the idea of a one-night stand. I want to be super clear. Don't care if you do that. Do whatever you want. I don't judge other people for it. But for me personally, the idea of being any kind of intimate with a person that I don't know intimately Never gonna happen. Not in a million years. Repulsed by it. And that, again, I didn't even really know there was a term for it until I heard a friend talk about it, is demisexual. It doesn't mean I don't find people attractive. I can be very attracted to people. I just don't want them to touch me, or do not want to touch them, or would never want to have any kind of physical intimacy unless I am, intimately familiar with who they are as a person and really attracted to their personality. That one feels more uncommon to me. Like, I feel like a lot of people who identify as bi are probably also pan, or like just like don't know the term or aren't familiar with it. But the demi one, I think, is a little more unusual, and sometimes people have like a lot of trouble even rationalizing it when they find out that about me. Like, how does that work? Like, wait, you still think people are hot? And like, yeah, I can still look at somebody and be like, damn, that person is really attractive. I can still enjoy seeing an attractive person shirtless. I just don't want to touch them. I don't want them to touch me. I just don't want to go any further than that. I don't know where that comes from in my brain. It's just, again, also the way that I've always been. So like, if I'm not in a relationship, I won't even kiss anybody. I was single for, I think, like 2 straight years, maybe 3 years in my early 20s, and didn't even hold hands with anybody in that period of time. Didn't kiss anybody, nothing. But no matter how long it would be, no part of me wants to go and make out with a stranger. Like, it's just never gonna happen. I'm sort of the same with dating in a weird way, in that I cannot even imagine being on dating apps unless I already know somebody, like I'm friends with them, or I'm friends with their friends, or like we already are acquainted in some way. I couldn't just go on a date with someone. Like, I couldn't just be like, and it's romantic. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me how anyone else does this, even though I know that I am kind of the outlier. I would rather be single for the rest of my life than go on like romantic dates, like dates with the intention of dating with people I don't know. That sounds terrifying and awful, and like, again, not for you. You do you. From my perspective, disgusting. Like, ugh, never. So yeah, the 2 terms technically are pansexual, which is you're attracted to people regardless of what matter they have. I do not care. I don't care what they identify as. Completely fluid. Don't care what hardware they come with. Cool with it, as long as I'm attracted to the person. The demisexual part is literally only want to sleep with people whom I have a personal attraction to and a romantic connection with. Incapable of one-night stands. Would way prefer to be single than go on dates with people I don't know. Like, I'm so staunch on that one. That one is like almost more of an identity to me. It's like just the whole thing is so foreign to me. Just the idea of like being on a dating app and someone being like, hey, want to go get a drink tonight? A person I don't know? Which is like convenient for me because I'm also like, I like monogamous relationships. I am fiercely loyal because of that, right? Like, it's like I'm very one-track minded in a relationship. But I'm also totally fine being single. So it is fine for me either way. I could be single forever and be completely fine. I am like tremendously privileged in that I've always been fully comfortable with all of this. It's never been a struggle. I've never questioned any of it. I feel like I've just always been exactly the way that I am with this particular kind of stuff. That's all I really have to say. It's a lovely day. I'm just chilling in this pool. I've been in here for a while. I should probably get out or I'm gonna get burnt. Thought I would just have a chat with you all, because I was planning on swimming with Banjo, but he said no, absolutely not, and that's how we got where we are. I just think he'd love it so much. I'm just so sure if you got him in here, he would love it so much. He just doesn't know it yet. And like, again, I don't want to just throw him in because he's a pretty timid dog in some ways. He's a very good guard dog. He's scary. He will scare people off. But outside of that, he's just like very afraid of new things. I mean, he was a stray, he's just like scared of unfamiliar things. If anything makes a noise, he's really scared of guitars. He's probably scared of my piano. He's just a little scaredy cat, and I don't want to freak him out. That's it for me today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this nice floaty vlog, because I got 2 pool noodles, so I can stay floating. Also, update on the weed vlog that everybody heard about. My PC is fixed, so I'll upload that soonish. I'm having Jacob help me edit it, because it's a very long file. And I'm finally going to do a PC video and an office tour now that the PC's fixed. So look forward to that. Or not. Whatever you want.